Hello everybody, this is Debo with Debo's Movie Reviews here, and this week's review will be Once Upon a Time in Mexico, directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring Antonio Banderas as El Mariachi, Salma Hayek, Eva Mendes, Johnny Depp as Agent Sands, Cheech Marin as an informant, with Ruben Blades, Mickey Rourke, Enrique Iglesias, and Willem Dafoe as Barrio, the Barrio Cartel. I gotta say, excellent storyline, though I felt a little bit was a rehash of the first movie whereas where it's El Mariachi avenging the lost lover who this time was Salma Hayek's character from the second movie of the trilogy, which I kind of thought was a total cop out of although it, and it also this time it was also her and their daughter who was killed by General Marquez, who had a grudge with him because he was in love with Carolina, and in the pocket of the cartel, which of course was a part of a which of course was paying a coup over for a president, and of course, when you see the trailer, you expect him to you was almost expecting it to be him and Sama being like the Bonnie and Clyde type deal, not him lose everything again and more revenge. Which is kind of glad they didn't make a fourth one, because yeah, you kind of could quote of how many times he'd have to lose a woman he loves. And but I was kind of but it was kind of surprising that they didn't make it where Ava Mendez wound up the next girl, and kind of like an old twist of her character where you think she's like the honest federale, but you find out she's like the drug lord's daughter who's undercover in the federales, or should I say, the inside woman, which I can almost say when it comes to attractive to which almost would have made her one of the made Eva Mendes' character the sexiest villain of the 2000s, kind of like how Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatop was in the 90s. And and of course with Robert Rodriguez's great casting and great action. I mean, of course, there's a lot of great action from old beef with Kukui, played by Banderas. I mean, Danny Trejo. I don't know why I said Banderas for kind of confusion, but yeah. But I do admit, but Danny Trejo did a damn good job, and Johnny Depp did a damn good job as Agent Sands. Even badass when after he one thing where he got his eyes gouged and he just became like the blind gunslinger. But even more trippier when at the beginning where he had the fake arm, the trick when in those scenes with Cheech before he shot Cheech out, killed Cheech's character, and getting away in that badass Studebaker. I mean, I mean, that's one thing I gotta say about the El Mariachi trilogy. Nicer cars than Fast and Furious. Furious, which is the point I'm surprised, which surprised, surprised fucking Rodriguez hadn't directed one yet. And road racers don't really, don't, was good, but don't really count as a racing movie. So that's as far as I'm going to say, and save that for a review on that later on. But overall, Once Upon a Time in Mexico is a damn good movie. I mean, just great action, great twists and turns. Oh, from that old memorable shootout at the church, he just the Lupara and the guitar. And for those that know what Lupara is, that's a mafia term for sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, which is something they like to use on snitches and traitors, especially for those that played the mafia games. If you know, you know. Along with old badass, another badass shootout was at Town Square, and old Mariachi says to Kukui, "You are last." And the old shootout, and then you get that one chase scene of where he's on the motorcycle, then he hops in that badass looking Ford Crown Vic. The old chase there, and I remember one where they had that escape from the window in the flashback scene with Mariachi and Carolina, who just they were going out the windows and all, and at the beginning when they're throwing out the story and the shotgun guitar and the first attempt on Marquez, and then the whole that showdown at the end with when he got his. Along with all great side performances by Ruben Blades as a retired G-man, and Mickey Rourke as the burnt out lackey who's wanting out. Which I'm surprised that he didn't participate in those shootout scenes in that one without badass look drip he had in that and the whole. But yeah, when he could have been holding the gun instead of Paris Hilton's dog. Like what was up with that? But overall, I'm still giving it a 5 out of 5, despite how I thought the big real flaw was the whole dead lover and kid and daughter storyline. I mean, just at this point, they should have just had to where Mariachi died, and then be Carolina having us get revenge, kind of like if the movie, kind of like if Robert Rodriguez made Peppermint, which if that was the case would have starred Salma Hayek instead of Jennifer Garner. But that's what I'm going to say for our later on when I get around to reviewing Peppermint. But overall, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, a definite 5 out of 5 masterpiece. I mean, just great action. I mean, it's hilarious moments, like the whole fake arm and the cab driver who looked like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. and Johnny Depp's great performance. And one, I'm going to say, forget Jack Sparrow. This is pretty much more badass. But overall, a definite 5 out of 5 masterpiece. All right, I'll do it for this week, and I'll keep dishing them out.